Hello, this is Doug. Welcome back to the workshop of Wood Spun Round. It is so good to have you yet again. Uh, got a piece of oak on the lathe here, and looking at it right now, it looks a lot bigger than what it is. This finished bowl only ends up to be 3.5 inches in diameter. It's intended to be a little small trinket bowl. I'm turning it in preparation, kind of a practice session for a demo that I'm doing. World Wide Woodturners is the internet club that I am a part of, and I do a demonstration for them periodically. And this is a practice piece on this small bowl. I'm going to turn a totally different wood, a different type of wood, um, but I wanted to use a couple of techniques that are particular to small bowls and a chuck, not a chuck, but a set of chuck jaws that are brand new for me. So I'm doing this practice piece for that, but I thought maybe you'd like to see it as well. I've already turned the outside here, at least mostly. I'm just marked it for a recess. We're going to turn this around and do it on a recess. So here I'm just taking a parting tool and making an entry cut. Actually, I'm going to take two parting cuts just to mark the recess. And I'm glad I did this because this recess turns out it's a little big. It works, as you will see, but it is just a little bit big. Have to lower my tool rest back down. I use that little tiny parting tool, and I had to raise it up. But here I'm going back to my 1/2 inch bowl gouge. This is the same tool I used to shape the outside as well. Not cutting this recess very deep at all. It's a very shallow recess. Doesn't need to be very deep. I forget that I really need to go ahead and finish this off. I come back later. I'll show you how I came back and finished this very bottom off. But I should have gone ahead and finished this to completion before I turned it around. Just making some fine little finishing cuts here just to get the curve of the bowl and the bottom, the transition between the sidewall and where it transitions into the foot. We've turned it around here. You can see I've got it on that recess. And there's the recess I had on the top side. I actually just used a Fosner bit and drilled that hole. Drilled it about 1/4 inch. I really didn't need that much. 1/8 of an inch would have been more than enough. But here I'm just flattening off the front before I start digging in to this bowl to hollow it out. And it hollows out very, very nicely. Being this small, it doesn't take a whole lot. You're going to see about 85% of the hollowing portion of this. It didn't take very many cuts at all to get it completely where I wanted it. Taking a good cleaning cut to get the bottom out of it. I'm going to use my digital calipers there just to make sure that I've got it where I want it. So I'm going to clean up a couple of ridges that I felt and smooth it out. Then we're going to go straight on to the sand. I've already sanded the outside. We need to sand the inside. We sanded from 100 grit to 320 grit, both inside and outside. Blew it off with some compressed air. Then I'm going to use some lacquer sanding sealer just to seal it. Here we go. The Axe abrasive paste. Goes right on the sanding sealer. And what I'm doing with the Axe abrasive paste is taking it from the 320 that I sanded to on up to about 1,000 grit. The sanding sealer does two things. One, it raises some of the light grain that still might be there to raise. But the sanding sealer also seals the wood, not allowing the oils and waxes that are in this abrasive paste to soak into the wood. I kind of want that. It allows the grit then to stay on the surface a little better and to work that grain or work that wood surface right on down to right at 1,000 grit. But it does so without the dust, and also don't have to pay for the sandpaper. You start buying all those extra grits, and that can get into some dollars pretty quickly. The Axe abrasive paste is simply followed up with the Axe polishing and restoring paste wax. It is a carnauba-based wax, and Tom, who is the maker of Axe, has added double the carnauba wax, and so it's a much harder wax. I'll show it to you here in just half a second. There it is. It comes in a white jar. Whether you get the what's the word I'm looking for? Whether you get this one, which is just a trial, there it is, that's the word, a trial size, to see if you like it or not, or if you get the full size. The wax is in a white jar. The abrasive paste is either in a sort of a clear brown jar or a black jar. But they come and you'll know which is which. That carnauba wax, it just works up so nicely. Buffing it in here, it just brings up a shine like, it shouldn't bring up a shine this nice, but it really does. You'll see here in just a second how bright this shine really is. There you go. You can see those reflections. Those are my lights above my head. And it looks the same inside and outside. This makes for a beautiful piece. And like I said, this is just a practice piece. It's not special wood. It's not particularly great wood. It's some dunnage that I got from a wood reclamation center up the road from me. They were trying to get rid of some wood, and I went up and got a carload one day. And this is, I don't have a lot of this left. These were just nice big blocks of oak. Don't know what they were used for exactly. I've got a suspicion they were used in semi-trucks, maybe to chalk some of the loads that were being used. But I've used it a lot. Just finishing up the buffing of this wax. Got it going at a pretty high rate of speed and a good bit of pressure. And there you see, I've recently got these mini cold jaws. And so for some of these smaller pieces like this one, it works beautifully. Could have moved those bumpers out one notch. That would have been fine. But first time using it, so it was a good experiment for me. Good session to learn on. But I wanted to have that bottom look just as good as the rest of the bowl does. So when I turned it around, I went ahead and put my traditional 3 lines in there, and I can put my maker's mark in those lines like I do on most every bowl that I turn. There, I just got the tool rest ready. I'm making those little marks. if you'd like to try the axe, you're welcome to. They do have a trial size. It's available only at axewoodpaste.com. You have to go there to their website, and you can find it there. Order it. You can get you a little discount on your axe. The discount code is Doug15. I'm not sure. I don't think it's available on the trial size, but on the full size, it's available. By the way, that full size, the abrasive paste is 8 ounces, and the wax is 4 ounces. First time I saw the jars, I thought, well, this is crazy. I'll run out of wax way before I get to the other. But I wasn't too worried about it because I have lots of wax sitting around. But you use the abrasive paste quite a bit faster, especially now that the wax has twice as much carnauba. It's much stiffer, and so which is good. You don't want to put on very much wax. Just makes it that much harder to buff off. But you put on thin layers, buff it, and then come back, and if you want more shine, you add more wax. Just finishing up this bottom here. We'll take it off so you can see it. Get a little wax. Oh, forgot I still have to get the wax on the very bottom. That little small area is not going to take very long. While I'm buffing that off, let me remind you, please, if you would, go down below this, below the video there, hit that little thumbs up button. That's the like button. That lets YouTube know that you appreciated this video. Excuse me. But you can do a couple other things for me as well. If you hit the like button or the subscribe button, that way you'll see when I submit more material, more content. You can also share. I love it when people share my content out on their social media pages. That helps the channel grow tremendously. So thank you very much for being with me today. This is Doug at Wood Spun Round. I hope until we meet again that you're able to spin them round.